Coming home to YouTube after a few days on holiday was a bit like being an astronaut landing back on Earth after an apocalyptic event. I've watched entire live stream eras blink out of existence from my caravan window, wondering how the fuck I'm gonna catch up with it all. So, here's my best attempt at a recap. Amberlynn Reid's overly enthusiastic on and off waitress Emily revealed the true nature of their incredibly toxic and abusive relationship to swole Geordie nincompoop Mr Snowflake, who handsomely announced on his community tab that he was working on getting her side of the story out ASAP. This prompted an immediate and frantic damage control livestream from Amberlynn, where she scrambled to address claims that hadn't even occurred yet, unintentionally revealing that they were probably true. Amberlynn spun a tangled narrative so impenetrable that it might as well have been co-written by Hideo Kojima. She blamed Emily for Rarity's icy demise, said she was physically abusive, emotionally manipulative, and basically the Dr. Evil of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. She provided no evidence, no receipts, instead doing the online equivalent of throwing her own excrement around in a bid to get ahead of the story. Then the Snowflake video dropped. Emily told the story of a heartbroken woman reeling from the loss of their partner, who rebounded recklessly into a relationship with a volatile, narcissistic YouTube micro-celebrity. At first, the relationship went well. Amber was kind and understanding, patient and attentive, right up until the fabled Wisconsin trip. According to Emily, Amberlynn rocked up for a 2-week stay with all her worldly belongings and proceeded to seep into Emily's home like black mold, intending on staying forever. Emily confirmed many of our theories right from that most mystical of times. We could see that Amberlynn was miserable, struggling to cope, angry all day and raging at people on Instagram. Whenever we did see her, she was either hysterically crying or looking like she'd just stepped out of a plane crash. We all saw how much she was spiralling, all while she insisted on that most gentle of love. But after the initial 2 weeks Emily booked off work to be with Amber ended, Amber turned into the Midwestern equivalent of that massive annoying baby in Spirited Away. She would sit at the kitchen table with her minge flaps fully dangling, stinking up the place and doing adult colouring books. She would simply eat, shit and play on her mobile phone games, ignoring the pets and refusing to vlog, which I might remind you is her job. Then she would expect Emily to come home from a 12-hour shift as a nurse and take her out for the evening to the casino or a restaurant. And when Emily refused, the tantrums started. Emily alleged that Amber would have wild emotional meltdowns, physically threatening her and at some points even assaulting her. She told of a time when Amber blocked the doorway to stop her leaving an argument, which is false imprisonment by the way, and when she tried to shove past, Amber crashed on top of her like a tidal wave of yeasty meat. During her retelling of the fall, Amber seemed to change position more frequently than a Bella Danger. First she tripped over a wad of carpet and was falling into Emily. Then she was trying to catch Emily. Then she was falling again, but also trying to help Emily up. It was harder to keep track of than the movie Tenet, starring Robert Pattinson. Amberlynn also blatantly lied about an incident involving nail marks, implying that Emily faked them 2 days later, when in actual fact they were taken on the same day, hours apart. This was clocked live on stream by Milky Chai, who noted that both photos were dated November 17th, the date Rarity went missing.
November 17th! November 17th at 9:41 PM. So, later that night. That's November 17th, because it'd be there's no other number that looks like 17. It's the straight line, other than a 1, but that isn't a 1 because it's slanted. It's the same day. You boom, baby.
Not only that, but the photo Amberlynn claims was taken second was in fact a screenshot of a photo, proven by the menu bar at the bottom. This tells me that the fresher looking marks were actually documented much earlier that morning and most likely taken in-app, where the photo doesn't auto-save to your camera roll. But Amberlynn's manic glee at catching Emily in a lie was short-lived, considering that she had just unintentionally backed up Emily's version of events, the big dumb bell end. But the most chilling part of Emily's story to me was the short thread of messages she included of Amber discussing Rarity's escape. In the messages, Amber announces that she hasn't been able to find Rarity all day, and that she needs help finding her, and then immediately pivots into relationship chit-chat. Amberlynn briefly mentions not checking the back patio, a point we'll return to shortly, but almost all of these messages are sent with the sole purpose of begging Emily for her seat back at the dinner table. Emily's response is very telling of their dynamic. She says she's afraid to come home, and instead of asking, why she's scared, Amber even offers to lock herself away in the living room. This reveals to me two things. Firstly, Emily is afraid of Amber, and Amber knows it. And secondly, it reveals that Amber must be spending her days wandering the various rooms of Emily's house, terrorising pets and damaging furniture like some sort of blobular minotaur in her own personal labyrinth. I don't think there's any world where a person should be afraid to return to their own home, especially when the person they're afraid of doesn't even live there. So here's what I think happened that day. Amber and Emily have a big knockdown drag-out fight. Emily leaves, goes to work, and ignores Amber for most of the day, which prompts our mukbanging Moriarty to hatch an ingenious, foolproof plan.
Alright, here's a plan. First I let Rarity out on the back porch, and then I message Emily in a panic about me missing baby. Emily rushes to me aid, finds Rarity safe and sound on the porch. Old Muggins here will give it the old damsel in distress number, swooning and all that bollocks. Then we head straight to bed, with a bucket of KFC and a shoulder-length rubber glove. Bosh.
But Gav, what if Emily doesn't look in the right place?
Well, that's easy innit, you fucking muppet. I'll make sure to mention that I specifically didn't check the back porch. That will make it the first place Emily looks.
It truly was a Machiavellian master plan, but it was thwarted by one very simple fact. Rarity's a fucking cat. She was away from home in a strange place and immediately ran off to look for warmth and shelter and quickly found herself lost, or worse, brown bread. All while Amber sat fatly at Emily's kitchen table, pawing at her phone. It's interesting to me that Amber didn't help with the search or with the missing cat posts. According to Emily, she even spent most of the vehicle searches playing Candy Crush instead of looking out the window. It sounds a lot like a guilty conscience shutting down, refusing to accept the reality and responsibility of what they've done. It's the same way a child will sometimes act over spilled milk, refusing to clean up and getting angry at the milk for leaving the cup. There's a moment in Amber's Rarity announcement video where she says, "I don't know where the fuck she is! I don't know where the fuck she is!" And that stuck with me since I saw it. It felt like a glimpse into the real anger she feels at Rarity for exploring too hard, for not sticking to the plan and helping her win Emily back. But the fallout from all this was legendary.
I can't. See, this is. Oh my god. I feel like I'm having a fucking breakdown. I'm on Zoloft, bro. Like, it's supposed to stop this. Well, it does, actually, but this is actually real life shit that fucking hurts.
Amber went live multiple times over the course of a few days, and each one was more deranged than the last. She employed a full range of war tactics used by narcissists, including Darvo and the narcissist's prayer, flipping the narrative to make Emily the aggressor. She repeatedly claimed that Emily betrayed her. Betrayal, betrayal, betrayal. She said the word betrayal so much that I started wondering which of the 5 kings of Westeros Emily had bent the knee for. It was all very dramatic and overblown. And what was it that Emily did that was so heinous?
No! Oh my god, no! It was fucking bigger girls, bro, that were naked!
She was looking at super morbidly obese women on Tumblr. Amber, I hate to break it to you, but that's not much of a surprise. You got into a relationship with someone who lubbers the blubber. Is it any surprise she was still window shopping at SeaWorld in her spare time? And even if she was, that doesn't justify any of your actions. You didn't glimpse Cthulhu and instantly lose your grip on reality. It's just fatties, mate. Calm down and stop using it to excuse your behaviour. The true toxicity of the relationship came into focus towards the end of the week, though, when it was rumoured the two were back together and working on their relationship. Of course, this is only Amber's claim, so we have to take it with a pinch of salt. Emily is still out there denying they're back together, and is currently showing up in the live streams of various bedbound baddies on TikTok, sending money to watch them fester. So who knows what's going on anymore? All I can say for sure is that these bitches be crazy. Let's hope no one else wades into the arena and causes even more drama.
Oh my god, it is her! Tammy, hello! Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you have a minute, we'd love to chat with you.
When Amber tried to blackmail me, and she said things like, I wonder what your husband would think if she knew you were doing what you were doing with the karaoke guy. And that's how I knew she knew.